What is going on, Blurverse, and welcome back to another episode of For the Blurcher. I'm RJ.
Yeah, and I'm Trey. What's going on, y'all?
It's your boy Hero Harrison here.
And we're joined by Nerd Guy Productions today.
Thank you for having me back.
Thanks for coming back. It's been a little while. We've been, kind of wanting to get you back on the show. So thank you for taking the time out. I know you had to work and rush to be on this live, so we do appreciate you.
It's worth it.
Yeah, coming across town, going back home, and join us on this live. So before we begin, I want to go around and get everybody's quick thoughts on this episode. Also, if you're watching now, don't forget to like this video, hit subscribe, and as well as notification bell if you're not doing it already, so that way you can stay up to date with everything for the Blurcher. So with that being said, let's go around and get everybody's quick thoughts on episode 5. Trey, what did you think overall on episode 5? Quick words.
I thought it was really good. I felt like we got a lot without a lot really going on. I just thought it had really good commentary and really good, I think, character development in this episode too. So, yeah.
Okay. What about you, Jay?
Not my favorite episode, but great episode. A lot of story based involvement as far as what we're going to be seeing in the future. So I think there's going to be some interesting things we're going to be seeing in the last episode. So I'm so excited.
All right. What about you, Mike?
Least favorite episode, but still liked it a lot. Just because I had some issues with the pacing, but I do really like all the character development in it, and pretty much everything that happened in this episode needed to happen. So I was perfectly fine with all the content. I thought it was really good.
Okay, I see we all have varying opinions on whether or not this episode was fire or not, but that makes for an interesting conversation because I loved it. This is my favorite episode. Something that happened, something that I have been dying for Sam to realize, kind of clicked in this episode for me. So this was kind of why I found this episode to be one of my favorite episodes, just because Sam finally came to the realization that I've been waiting for him to realize since episode 1. So with that being said, let's just go ahead and jump right into our first scene. We're going to talk about John, Sam, and Bucky. They're in the warehouse after John killed the guy from last episode, whatever his name is. He's clearly on edge, and he says that he had to kill the guy. He killed him because he had to. And,
I'm sorry, RJ, I can't. You said the guy from last episode. It's just funny.
whatever his name was.
Did they say his name?
He's not important. Who's his name? I don't even remember.
Battlestar. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah. I thought you were talking about the guy that Wonder Bread killed.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. Yeah, the guy that got killed.
Oh, okay. I was like, I don't know if we ever got his name.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
I didn't even go look up his name because I didn't care because he's not here anymore. So what's the point?
Okay.
So John's clearly on edge, and he says he killed the guy from the last episode because he had to, and Bucky's trying to convince him not to go down that road. Sam says he doesn't want anyone else to get hurt. He doesn't want anyone else to get hurt, and he asks John for the shield. John obviously doesn't want to give up the shield, and I guess he kind of thinks that this conversation is a ploy to get his shield. Bucky and Sam are trying to convince him, to calm down, relax. And Bucky says you don't want to do this, or John says or whatever. And long story short, they end up jumping John, which I'm here for. I love this scene. One thing I really started making me realize though is Falcon is not the best at combat. I feel like he has zero fight IQ. If you're fighting someone who literally has, the strength of however many men and the speed of God knows what, I feel like your big, slow wing movements are just moving targets. And I felt like he just got his ass whooped. He's just getting ass whooped this whole season or whatever. But so at the end of the fight, one thing needs to know that at the end of the fight, Bucky gives Sam the shield, and Sam kind of has this moment. He grabs the shield and he's looking at it. So, what my question to you guys is, of course, we're going to talk about this whole scene. I want your thoughts on the scene, but also I want to know what you guys think. What was going through Sam's head when he had the shield in his hand and he was kind of having a moment, looking at the blood and stuff on the shield. We'll start with our guest.
That was my favorite part of that whole scene. because to me it was like he was. I feel like the Shield, in a way, is Steve to him, the same as it is to Bucky. And seeing it tarnished the way it just was kind of drawing at his memory of his best friend. So to see him like trying to wipe the blood away while he had that look on his face, I thought that was one of probably not the most emotional moment in the episode, but it was definitely the first one in the episode that I was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Don't make me like cry or something right off the bat. Like let's just have a good time here. But yeah, I thought that was a great moment because like I said, I think the Shield is kind of just a representation of Steve at this point, but also a lot more than that as well.
Okay. What about you, Trey?
So first of all, I gotta say, when they started fighting, just like when the Dora Milaje were whooping him in the last episode, I was like, yes, whoop his ass. The minute I said, yes, fight him. But, I thought that it was honestly just a symbolic, Nico, that was a dude's name. But I thought it was very symbolic because, the blood on the thing. And like Mike, like you were saying, I do think that they kind of see it as Steve, and it's a very, it was very emotional for them. I do see that for sure.
Okay. What about you, Jay? What do you think about this whole fight scene and, what it was going through his mind when he finally got his hands on the shield? Because he took a lot for him to get the shield because he got his ass for it. But what do you think about all that?
I just think that, with Falcon, he's starting to obviously become Captain America. And when he saw that shield, that's him putting that print on it, saying that, hey, I'm Captain America, because he was wiping that blood off saying, this is not the representation of the American way. This is not what Cap would represent. This is not what anyone will represent. They try to step into this role. And he knows that John Walker's not worthy. So that's why they try to take that shield from him, because they know that he's mentally insane. This dude is a crazy dude. So it's just, I think it was Sam being responsible and finally saying, okay, yeah, I'm the only one that has the responsibility of being able to take on this role. So, and I'm going to have to, embrace it because no one else can. So,
first of all, Jay, who told you to preach? All right.
I don't know, man. Probably my mama.
That was good. You hit some points I didn't even think of.
Same.
Y'all are making me think, because now I feel like the shield, I guess, is also symbolic of that meme that was going around with Homelander and Captain America is like what you think America is versus what it actually is. And I feel like that shield it represented what everyone thinks America is, and the blood being on the shield is representative of what America actually is. And I feel like now Sam is starting to realize that the veil of perfection that he had, that's covering him, that all the rose-tinted glasses that he sees America through, is really starting to be stained with blood, because he's starting to see every America for what it truly, is to some people. Because my America is not your America, it's not your America, it's not your America. Everybody has their own experience in America. And I feel like what this is turning into for Sam is he's starting to see America for what he should see it for, in terms of, race and, just everything he's gone through and everything he's going to go through in the future. So it's really eye-opening to see how the shield can be. And even Karli had mentioned at one time, that shield is a symbol of something that's outdated or no more, something like that. But Marvel is, y'all are really making me think on this. Yeah. So, deep.
Oh, the fight scene was badass. I think we can all agree on that.
Oh man, dude, when Bucky held him in the air like that, and they just bashed his back in, I was like, oh my goodness,
that was pretty sick.
Yeah. I was like, man, that was one of the most brutal things I've seen in Marvel. And that's the thing, the fight scenes and action scenes in Marvel are just getting better and better, because it's just so creative how they're not just using weapons and stuff. They're using just combat skills, and it's just, they're being so creative. I love it.
Yeah.
The arm break was brutal. That scream that he let out.
Yeah, that was pretty rough.
Ooh. I mean,
Did anyone else feel like that was them getting the gauntlet off of Thanos? 'Cause I got like the exact same vibes off of that, where they're like trying their best to like rip it off.
Yeah. Oh
Only
yeah.
they actually succeeded.
Sure.
Oh yeah.
Now that yes.
Oh yeah.
It did feel like that because the whole fight was an uphill battle because I feel like it's two of y'all and one of him, even on the serum. You know, one's on one is a super soldier on the serum, one has these wings or whatever. But y'all really can't take this man. You let this man rip your wings off in a fight. Like
that was the moment I'm like, he needs the serum, man. Like maybe he can still be a good Captain America without it, but imagine how quick this fight would have gone if Sam had that serum.
Yep.
Just saying.
Yeah.
Hell, we all know that U.S. agent's signature move is the shield, and he's about to take somebody down like that.
Yeah.
So
just decapitate someone.
He's about to fatality that man, and it's Sam. I feel like if anybody deserves a serum, it's Sam.
Yeah, I agree.
Agreed.
I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't take it though. Wouldn't be surprised.
But if you think about it, Sam is what Steve envisioned for Captain America to be, because Sam he just embodies, I think, what Steve did. Like, he's pretty much Steve's shadow, just in a different light. Like, he sees things differently, he does things differently, but he still is I feel like has all the same ideals as the original Cap. But as we go on, in the show, we see, I might be skipping some stuff, but all that's in my head is the trial right now. And this is when I think John Walker turned into Captain Crybaby, because he man really just said, you made me this. I'm doing what you guys told me to, and blah blah blah. And they're just like, okay, dude, sorry. And then he's like, I am Captain America. And they're like, not anymore. I was like, you're not.
Man, they snatched that title so quick.
Mm-hmm. But
you're on camera, but it's the entitlement for me. Like, you really got caught on camera murdering a guy in a foreign country.
I will say, I did feel him saying, like, I'm just doing what you told me to do, but people saw it, so now you're all acting like that's a problem. I thought that was good commentary on like soldiers in the military, but I still feel like there's a lot of good cop commentary with it all. Like, yeah, you got caught on camera killing someone unjustly, so we're gonna slap you down. Although I feel like in America they don't get slapped down for doing that. That was like the one major difference there.
No.
Yeah, and that's actually a perfect way to segue into our next scene where we're going to talk about, is because RJ mentioned the word entitlement. So, that there's a lot of entitlement to certain people in the army and whatever government aspect that is. So, because John Walker was an army vet, but so John is in court for murder, obviously. So he goes to the podium and all that, and they pretty much strip him of everything. His will, he's not going to receive any retirement benefits, nada, nothing, zero, zilch. So this is just interesting because usually they give people a second chance, but I guess in the government, things were different. Especially you do something on camera as representing America, that's dangerous. So he eventually ended up outside on a bench with his wife, and he was talking to a lady who just came out of nowhere and just sat in the middle of him and his wife, and she's just talking, and she's like, oh, I can help you and this and that, and his wife's like, excuse me, and she's like, anyway, so this is what's going to happen. I know this agency, I've been watching you, and we can make something happen, we can make some magic happen. And she gives his wife a card, but by the end, when she leaves, she said, just give me a call or else I'll find you. And there's nothing on the card, but
so she'll find him.
Yeah. And so we do find out, we'll talk about it now. This woman is Madam Viper, aka Madam Hydra, aka Contessa Valentinus, because in the comics she has to do with the whole Magic X-Men stuff. But I want to ask y'all, so besides Madam Hydra watching John Walker, did you think that John Walker was set up for failure this whole time by the government? And I'm going to go with RJ on that first.
I don't think he was set up by the government. I feel like, it's sort of like when your job tells you when you get trained in a new job, right? They'll say this is the right way to do it, but this is how you're going to do it. So I think it's one of them things where, they said, okay, we need you to go to do this and follow all the rules, but if you got to bend a few, bend a few. Got to break a few, break a few. And it just so happens that he kind of got caught red-handed, literally red-handed. And I felt, I'm not gonna lie, like this, I felt for him in the fact that I felt more for his wife, because when they said you will lose all, you would get a other than honorable discharge, which literally ruins you. If you have, or it's dishonorable, whatever it is, it's not good. It's not good. So I feel like in that instance, what that does is that really follows you forever. Then on top of that, you lose your retirement. So everything you've been working for God knows how long, all that money you saved is no longer yours. You're gone. You start from zero. Lose all your benefits, your health benefits. So for me, I felt more so for his wife. But I don't know. I don't know. The whole scene to me was just I get that he was stripped of the Captain America title. I don't know. Maybe it's just maybe Marvel got me, man. Maybe I just started to feel bad for him in that scene. But what was the original question? I went off on a tangent.
No, you
that was
answered
my
it.
fault. That was my fault. I went off on a tangent.
No. I mean, you really answered it. The original question was just pretty much, what did you think of this whole? Like, I mean, it's pretty much your thoughts also, but it was just really the basics of what happened with John. Like, why is he now entering this realm where he's might have been watched from the beginning? Because the reason I asked that question is
they set him up. They set him up. Okay, yeah. No, I don't think. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I did answer. Yeah, sorry, my brain's everywhere tonight. I told you.
No, that's all right.
Carpet cleaning, and it's probably the ammonia in my brain right now from just cleaning and stuff like that. But yeah, I don't feel like they set him up. I feel like what happened was you did what you're supposed to do. You bent the rules, but you went far and you got caught. And it is what it is. You can't be mad at anybody else or salty because you went too far and got caught.
Yeah, I understand that. Yeah, because I mean, you get caught red-handed, you get caught red-handed. That's just the way it is, and especially on camera, everything is recorded nowadays. No one's safe. That's why everything's in the media. So you gotta. I mean, you should have known that too. But again, this man is crazy. So he's not mentally stable. He's not mentally there. So he needs help. Trey, what about you? Do you think this was a whole setup from the beginning?
So I don't know if I necessarily think it was a setup, but I do think that from the beginning he was kind of set up for failure. Not like intentionally, but because I was kind of thinking about it while watching this episode too. You don't really see Steve Rogers in the media at all. And aside from his informational clips he had sent to the schools, you don't really see Steve Rogers in the media at all. So it's kind of just everyone's ideals of him other than the people that know him. But you do see a lot of Tony Stark in the news a lot. So I feel like John Walker is trying to be a Tony Stark like Captain America, because you see him all the time say, I am Captain America. I'm Captain America. Who else says what they are? Tony Stark says,
I'm Dirty Dan. I'm Dirty Dan.
Which one of you is the real Dirty Dan?
So,
no, I'm sorry, Greg, go ahead.
You see that a lot. So I feel like John Walker is trying to be what he sees as like a Tony Stark type Iron Man, and or Tony Stark type Captain America, but it doesn't really work because he just comes off as a douche, which he kind of is. And So I feel like that right off the bat was a setup for failure because you don't really have someone to look towards as you're taking over this person's role. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. That's the thing, like, because it's just when you play that role, you got to be really careful with what you do. Obviously, he messed up, but I'll get to my thought in the end why I think it was kind of a setup. But I want your thoughts. Do you think this was a setup? Do you think that this whole thing was planned by government, or like what do you think about this?
I don't think it was a setup per se. I think they definitely had a failsafe where they're like, okay, we're going to let him do his own thing, can pretty much do whatever he wants. But as soon as our image as a country is tarnished, then we're throwing him under the bus. So I think they were really ready to do it. I don't think they necessarily wanted for that to happen, but they were absolutely like ready to go when it came to him screwing up in any kind of way. And apparently it didn't take that long. And I personally, I have to agree with some of the comments earlier too. Like, I don't think it was too harsh. Like, he could have been sent to jail, but instead they stripped all his benefits, which I'm like, it's harsh for like a white soldier, I suppose. But in terms of what he actually did, he got off pretty easy. But yeah, I don't think he was set up. I think there was a failsafe so that when this happened, they were ready to do it.
I don't disagree with that. And so this is just a theory that I had in my head for a little bit. So the reason I think that it was kind of a setup, so I think it was last episode where Baron Zemo stomped on Zemo stomped on the serums. Was that the last episode? Yeah, so he stomped on the serums, and I just feel like that I saw, like, I didn't like go back and rewind it, but I did watch it twice, the episode, and I saw like I think he like kind of like kicked one over in the corner, because if you notice in the episode, he kind of like found it in the corner when John Walker came down the stairs. I mean, it's just, to me, I just watched little stuff like that sometimes, but it was kind of noticeable. I want to get too deep into it, but I think that what I think it could set up is like the Masters of Evil, because I think that Baron Zemo might eventually get out, and Madam Hydra might help out Baron Zemo, and then they might help, U.S. Agent might help out Zemo and into that aspect or something like that. But again, I mean, I don't know. That's just my opinion, but anything can happen. Anything can happen.
I feel like Zemo's going to be a part of the Thunderbolts, so I think it's going to be Ross that gets him out. Yeah,
I don't disagree with that. I talked about that too. That's going to be interesting to see.
So speaking of Zemo, let's go to the scene where Bucky finds him in Sokovia. They're in Sokovia, right? Okay.
Sokovia. You got it.
Yeah. So
the one that doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Bucky comes up to Zemo. They're at the memorial, and they just kind of have this little talk, and Zemo is just like, well, there's only one option. You kind of have to kill her. And Bucky's just like, I know what I have to do. And, he takes out his gun, points it at him, pulls the trigger, no bullets in the gun. Very symbolic gesture on Bucky's behalf, I'd say. But then you have my Wakandan sisters coming up, taking Zemo, and Zemo goes, I took the liberty of crossing my name out of your book. I don't hold you accountable for the things you did, whatever. Your amends are done. Another name out of Bucky's book. And then they take him off, and I forget her name, but the leader of the
Io.
Yeah. She's just like, yeah, we'll take him to the Raft now. He'll live out his days there. Oh, and by the way, you should probably make yourself scarce in Wakanda. And that just made me laugh, because I was like, Fair enough. Fair enough. But then Bucky asked for one more favor, which we find out later. They doing a little upgrade to the Falcon wings. But I guess my question for y'all is, do you think that I just lost my train of thought as I was thinking.
I think I know you're going with it though.
Go ahead.
So with this scene,
okay. So I guess do you that
okay.
Do you think they should have taken him to Wakanda for trial, or do you think that putting Zemo in the Raft is a good idea, knowing that Zemo is a pretty smart dude and maybe we'll see him escape later? So I'm gonna start that. I'm gonna start that with Jay because he's already itching to answer.
Look, man, this is tough. I'm 50-50 on this for real because here's the thing, like you can't escape Wakandan prison. First off, it's extremely difficult. You can't just be like, hey guys, I'm just gonna just walk in. It's like, no, you're not. And also the thing that what the Wakandans are playing fire with is the Zemo bloodline because Zemo's a sneaky dude, and if he goes to the Raft, I feel like that there's going to be a lot of villains there, and a lot of villains that we're already going to see. And I think that going with what our guest said is that we are basically going to see the Thunderbolts or Masters of Evil unfold, one kind of aspect. Do I know which one? No, but it's going to be one or the other because he's going to break out. He's going to have some kind of connection with the villains in there, and it's going to be a mess. And there's going to be villains spread out into the Marvel Universe, and then, boom, Avengers 5 or something.
You know, also, the thing about the Raft, I think that's where Abomination is being held. So we might see Abomination.
No, is he really?
Confirmed for She-Hulk series, right?
That's correct.
I think so, yeah.
I mean, Red Hulk is bound to happen at some point too, which I honestly I don't want to see happen, but it's going to.
You don't want to see that happen?
I don't like Red Hulk. Red Hulk is so boring to me, and I just hate Ross so much. I'm like, I don't want to see him get Hulk powers. Like, that's gonna be lame as shit. I don't want that.
I don't like the whole gun aspect.
Okay.
Yeah, but I mean, Joe Fixit, all those other ones are pretty cool, but you won't get into that today.
So with that, Mike, what are you thinking about it? You think they should have taken him to Wakanda, or the Raft is a better choice?
I think he should have been taken to Wakanda. As soon as they did that, I was like, that's kind of odd, I thought. I'm like, it was their king that Zemo killed, so I would have thought they would have wanted to dole out the justice for it, as opposed to kind of hand him off to some other like government entity. And also I'm like, well, now he's for sure like getting out again at some point. Like if he went to Wakandan prison, I'm like, you're done. Like you're never seeing the light of day again. Like that's it. But they decided to take him to the Raft, which again, I felt like it was kind of weird because earlier in the season, I was like, you know, we don't forgive. You don't understand the shame that he's brought to our country and us as a people. So I really would have thought that they would have taken them with him. But yeah, instead they took him to the Raft. And I feel like that was mostly the writers just being like, hey, Thunderbolts, get ready. I'm like, okay, I guess.
Yep.
I definitely think it was a plot thickening thing for them to do to take him to the Raft, because I guess it just kind of makes sense for where they want to go with the whole cinematic universe too. But you know, RJ, what are you thinking, man?
I think it was a stupid idea.
Yeah, stupid idea.
Like just straight up
dumb.
Yeah.
Dumbest shit I ever like.
Dumb idea.
Dumbest shit. I say this for just all universes. Why would you put all your supervillains in one prison? Like, I don't get it. Like that never made sense to me. You put people that literally have world destroying crimes and world destroying potential in one fucking prison, and it baffles me the fact that they did this. The only valid reason I feel like they shouldn't have put him in Wakanda is because you don't want Zemo having access to any kind of Wakandan technology.
Exactly.
God forbid he would get out.
Yeah,
That is the only excuse I have for that. But I also feel like you said, the Durmalage, they have jurisdiction everywhere, right? So you could have very well just taken that man from wherever he was at Sokovia and pulled him into Wakanda and did it that way. They could have. I don't know if they have the death penalty in Wakanda, but I feel like if anything warrants the death penalty, it's the killing of your king. You know, your Wakandan king. So I feel like I don't know. It was just very out of character for me. I felt like y'all followed Bucky, around the world. Stalked him like a creep, popped up on him, mad at him for freeing Zemo, and you say, okay, thanks, we're going to bring him to the Raft now. You could have just told Bucky to do that when you were done with them. Go find this man and bring him to the Raft. It just didn't make any sense for me. Remy has a good point. It's like the Arkham Asylum. I just don't understand why you put all your villains in one prison. I would literally put these people on opposite, as far away from each other as possible. Why would you want these people to team up? But it was just a stupid ass decision for me. I didn't like it. And then also what I felt was stupid too is Bucky at one point said, "Yeah, I called in a favor from the Wakandans." You didn't have no favors lined up. What do you mean you called in a favor? They didn't owe you nothing. You mean you asked them to do something for you? You mean you owe them now, but they didn't owe you nothing. If anything, they owe you an ass whooping because you freed Zemo.
Yeah, for real.
I called in a favor. What the fuck did you call in? Like you didn't have. What did they owe you?
You're like, let's take that ego down just a little bit there, Bucky. Man, I don't know what you're talking about.
Bring it down there, buddy. They don't owe you shit.
I agree with that, yeah, because you can't just be like, oh yeah, like I got some favors. Like, whoa, like let's come back to reality and realize the fact that you wouldn't have an arm without them. So
the audacity. So they gave you an arm, and then you betrayed them.
They deprogrammed you.
Deprogrammed you, yeah.
And you're welcome. They gave you a cool place to live. Like,
yeah,
you haven't done anything for them. Actually, like I don't think there's been anything he's done for them. They're like, you fought against Thanos and got your ass whooped. So did all of us. Like, you didn't do anything.
Shit. Yeah, you do shit. Like, we said, Trey?
I'm also kind of thinking right now, as we were talking about the Raft, kind of wishful thinking for SpiderMan. In the comic books,
and in the video game,
Electro takes out all the power of the Raft and basically lets supervillains free. So that could be something. That could be a plot thickening thing for the whole universe, and maybe that'll play something.
Trey, don't get me started on Spider-Man. You know I can talk about that all day.
favorite superhero right here too. So yeah.
Oh yeah, y'all three get along fine because they love Spider-Man.
Spider-Man's the best.
Spider-Man is like legit, and I feel like that actually doesn't make. I didn't even think about that, Trey. Damn, that's a good point.
I mean, if we're talking about representation, that's my superhero right there. Little white nerdy kid. I'm like, when I was growing up, I'm like, yes, that's me.
Too cool dancing. Too cool dancing to say.
Asking for a hand.
Begging that they probably got back on the ship like, begging ass Bucky, always asking for something.
Ask for too many handouts, they're just going to take the hand away before too long. And be like, we did it once, we'll do it again.
I mean, shit, they took it away last episode.
They were just like,
read that people were shocked. Did y'all read that people were like literally shocked that they would do that? They were hurt that they took Bucky's arm off, and people were saying, well, what did you expect? For them to give him an arm without a failsafe. And even then, he proved that he wasn't trustworthy anyway because he still went and freed Zemo. That's why I said like the audacity of you to even ask me that, even though it wasn't for you. Don't ask me for shit. I would be like, you tell Sam to come and ask me himself. Like, I'm not doing shit for you. Yeah, get the fuck out of here.
I feel like the only reason they said yes is they were like, is the favor for you? No? All right, we'll consider it.
It was like, oh, and he's black? Oh, yeah, we got it, but it's not for you, white wolf.
Just the emphasis on it. They're like, how about you stay out of Wakanda, white wolf? You stay there.
I feel like Wakanda is the Batman of the Marvel universe.
Cooler than Batman, in my opinion, but yeah.
Cooler than Batman, but they have like something for everything. Like Batman, he has a contingency plan for everything. Now Wakanda, they ready for you. Can't mess with Wakanda.
Yeah.
They got
Man,
ready.
Batman does have a contingency plan for everything. I was watching the old like show from the 70s, and I think I told you this before, where everybody got separated into dust, like the world leaders. And he was like, "Oh, I have a super molecular dust separator. We'll just pour everybody in there, and it'll put their particles back together." I'm like, what? Like he just had that sitting around in case everybody got turned to dust.
Like if there was ever an anime character in any comic books, Batman is the one. He's always like,
For sure.
let's do a quick flashback so you can see exactly how I was ready for this moment. You're like, all right.
This very specific moment that required a very specific item that I had before. Like it's like it just doesn't make any sense.
Always
but that's
ready.
Batman for you. Well, yeah, the caucasity of Bucky to ask that, I didn't believe that. What? So let's move on to scene 5, and this is why this scene became my favorite. This scene made this episode become my favorite episode.
I think I know which one it is because it was my favorite scene in it.
When Sam tried to return the shield to Isaiah, that definitely. This whole scene just kind of made me realize that, I think every black person that didn't grow up initially in a black neighborhood, we kind of started to realize that we were different from our friends, growing up. We started to realize that, we are black males and we will be treated different. I feel like this was kind of Sam's realization that should have happened a long time ago. But he goes and he tries to bring this shield to Isaiah, and they have, they exchange very interesting words between each other. He tries to give him the shield, and he says, basically he said, "I don't have time for that bitter stuff." And then Isaiah was like, "Well, if you ain't bitter, you're blind." And for me, that line, had so much power in it because it kind of shows that, after all black people have been through this country, you have every right to be a little bitter. And the fact that you aren't means you just aren't seeing things for whatever reason. So I'm not going to go and, talk about every line that was said in the scene because it was such a powerful scene. I want everybody to have an organic and open conversation about it. So what do you feel about this scene as far as Sam coming to a realization that America isn't this perfect country that he once thought it was? And what do you think is going through his mind? And what do you think he learned from this conversation from Isaiah? I started with you first, Jay.
So, I mean, I could talk about every scene or every line in the scene, but I'm not going to. But the whole midst of it is really coming down to the fact that Isaiah is not in the gray area. He's on one side, and Falcon is in this gray area, and he's trying to figure out Isaiah's pain. And it's just, I think that this is one of the most powerful scenes I've seen in Marvel besides in episode 3 when he actually met Isaiah. Just because of the simple fact that the main line that hit me is that when Isaiah said to Sam, the world's not really ready for a black Captain America. And that shield is not what really represents, the stars and stripes. And that's why he didn't take it back. And I think that Sam is like, hey, we got to move past that. But Isaiah's like, you're, like you said, mentioned RJ, bitter blind. But it's just the fact that you have to understand as a black man in society, you do have to wake up and realize that not everyone's going to be ready for that. Just because you haven't experienced it yet, you got to understand the history of it, again, which you can't delete. So I think that the real word here is history that can't be deleted because our story has been deleted for so long. And now Sam's starting to get into that.
Black and conscious.
Yeah.
For real, definitely agree with everything you said. Oh God, all of that was real powerful, for real. What do you think about that, Trey?
Honestly, I agree. It was a very powerful scene because just from the jump, I think anything involving Isaiah Bradley, I think is very powerful because he is the, cap in the shadows. He explains that while he was locked up, his wife died. They didn't give his letter, give him her letters that she had been sending him, and he found out that she thought that he was dead, and it's really just a really messed up situation that Isaiah was brought into that he didn't even sign up for. They said they were shooting them up with tetanus.
Tetanus,
And I just feel like that's super messed up. And then even after Isaiah had set out to save his, teammates, they still really didn't even care about, what he had sacrificed for that. And so eventually he was the only one left. I honestly, it just the whole conversation, I think, opened Sam's eyes to seeing what it could be like, potentially, if he does pick up the mantle, which he's probably going to in this next episode. But it also opens his eyes to see that it's time to be better. Like, we need to do better things for this country. The country needs to do better things for us as a people. But I just think that it's real messed up that Isaiah Bradley feels so strongly about this that he doesn't even want to come back to the land of the living. Like, it's probably correct. Like, the minute you mention his name, he's probably going to end up dead. Like, someone's going to come back him. But,
finish him,
But yeah, it's just honestly all is very powerful commentary, I'd say.
What about you, Mike?
I really, really liked this scene. It was definitely my favorite of the entire episode. I think this season, like the show as a whole, this was the best scene in it. And I like seeing the not polar opposites, but I said it in my review. It was like the two sides of the same coin where Isaiah's been through like the worst that America has to offer. And therefore is just like, all right, fuck this country. Like I fought for them. I did everything I could to protect my comrades and fight for this country. And I was repaid by being thrown into prison while my wife had no idea what was going on and died. And he just suffered the absolute worst fate you could in that situation. Whereas Sam has seen his own amount of suffering, and I don't think he's blind to what America is, but he's still such an optimist, and he still wants to keep fighting. He's like, well, we can either accept that America is a piece of shit, or we can actually keep fighting and try to make it better. So I like seeing like the two ends of the spectrum on that. The fact that Isaiah probably was just like Sam a long time ago, but through his experiences became what he is now. And it was just really heartbreaking, honestly, to see and hear everything that he's been through. And it was one of those moments where, even though I agree more with Sam's ideology of like, yeah, it's time to keep fighting, like continue to progress what still isn't fixed. You can't blame Isaiah in any way, shape, or form. Like, for him to feel that way about the country and not want to fight for it, I totally get it. And I think the best line in that was probably the moment when he was like, no self-respecting black man would ever actually pick up that shield. That one stung a little bit. I was like, ooh, shit. I never really thought about that. And I think it was a moment that is going to be eye-opening for a lot of the audience. I would say specifically, at least I hope, the white audience, for not considering that because of what the shield and the country represents. So I thought it was really, really fantastic. Just incredibly heartbreaking.
Yeah, I feel similar. Oh, good. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead, RJ.
Okay. I feel similar. Because I guess I can relate to both Isaiah and Sam, because me as a Black American, sometimes I have a hard time identifying as an American, because I've been treated, so not myself, but, my people as a whole have been treated differently than, white people in this country. So for me, even when I see people who are Jamaican, Haitian, St. Lucian, things like that, when they fly their flag, with pride, I don't really have that same pride in my country as most people who aren't, who are white people who are born here. And I feel like for me, I kind of get where Isaiah's coming from. Not like, no self-respecting black man will pick up the shield, but I also feel like when he kind of said something about, Sam was like, things are changing. And, he was like, you really think things are changing? And I get where he's coming from in that sense because, even if you look at the civil rights movement, yeah, we have the rights and things like that, but how much has really changed when you really think about it, when things are literally video recorded with evidence and people still get away with things. So I see where Isaiah's coming from in the sense that, things haven't changed much, but I also see where Sam is coming from in the sense that we are recognizing more so now that this is a problem more than ever. So I do get that, the duality and, where they're coming from, but I truly understand where both of them are coming from. It's really, really hard. And Too Cool Dancing just made a good point, and I was just about to say this. It is gonna go over a lot of the white audience's heads. People are still mad at repeat athletes for raising their fists. At the Olympics, and the word black triggers people. Check out Women Can Wrestle podcast. We did an episode on this, but 2 black women ran main events of WrestleMania for the first time in history, and people were so triggered by the word black. They would say, why can't they just be women? Well, why are you okay with them being women, but you're not okay with them saying the word black women main event of WrestleMania? So from me and my standard, I understand how, black is such a trigger for some people. But I agree with both of them. I feel like they're both right at the same time. So
yeah, I think that Marvel has the right platform to talk about stuff like this. We talked about this a little before, but it's just with stories being lost, Marvel's kind of bringing those stories to life as far as the media, because they know that the media is the only way, especially if something is like a big franchise. I hate to say it, if it's trending, it's going to get people's attention. That's the only way, because when you put it on the right platform, then people will pay attention. And unfortunately, a lot of people may not even in our reality right now be ready for a black Captain America too, but it's happening.
Yeah,
Too fucking bad.
Get ready.
I want to tell you, we're getting a black Iron Man, Ironheart. So it's just
people are already pissed about that. By the way, like when that comic came out, people were livid.
And that's the thing, though, is that people need to understand that it's not just about the character itself. It's about how you develop that character, because you can come up with another Iron Man character that I don't even care about, and he doesn't even have to be, or she doesn't have to be black. The person could be like an Asian. I can be interested in that person, or it could be Hispanic. I wouldn't be interested. So people, I think, have to start waking up and realize that this platform is important to put our heroes on to represent, especially for the children. So young black children, because this is what this episode is focused on, is black struggle. So Marvel's doing a great job of moving forward with things, whether people like it or not. Because at the end of the day, everybody loves superheroes. You're gonna watch it. You're gonna talk about it.
Y'all made a really good point. People just have to get used to seeing this, because I feel like everybody deserves to be represented. Just like SpiderMan was your representation. Imagine if it was only, white jocks or, white rich people, that got this representation. I feel like everybody deserves, to be represented. And I feel like Marvel is doing such a great job with this. Even the scene where Sam's annoying ass fucking nephews were, coming up to him. Those kids are fucking annoying. Like,
I thought they were cute. What are you talking about?
They're annoying.
Mike, here's the thing.
Like,
You don't
really
like kids.
No, yeah, I forgot. How are those kids?
He knows he has kids to take care of.
They're just annoying to me, y'all. Like,
come on, you didn't like that moment when they were like tracing the star on the shield? I thought that was great.
Yeah, 2 out of 5.
Whatever.
If that kid was about to be hit by a car, RJ, if you had the powers,
I would save it. Yeah, I would save it. Yeah, and I'd be like, "What you doing in the street?" It's annoying. Like when they were playing with the shield, like, "What are you touching the shields for?" Move, damn.
Dirty ass fingerprints all over it now. What the fuck?
Cheeto fingers.
There's a ketchup stain on the side of the shield.
Yeah, Cheeto dust on the shield. Get out of here.
Hey, did y'all catch though when Sam they're running past and they go, Uncle Sam, Uncle Sam.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Didn't they make a joke about that earlier in the season? Isn't Sarah or something?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
You know,
I wonder if that
also,
was intentional. I'm sure it is.
Yeah, it is.
to quote Peter Parker, that shield does not follow the laws of physics at
It
all.
really doesn't.
We don't talk about that. That's okay. Like, as long as it looks cool.
As long as it looks cool, that's all that matters, right? RJ's Mephisto, I agree with that.
It's one of the nephews. One of the nephews. is
One of the
Mephisto.
nephews, yep.
Quit hating on the kids, RJ. They coming. The chat's coming for you tonight, man. They say stop hating on the kids, man. Stop hating on the kids. They're yours. They belong to you. So let's move on though. So we'll skip a scene because we'll talk about I'll do a brief just a little thing about it because RJ had some nice notes for us. So shout out to RJ. So we get up to the scene where Sam goes home to spend time with Sarah. They pretty much talk about the boat and they want to fix it because they don't want to have to start all over. She's tired of that, but we won't dive too deep in that. There's nothing like we have to move forward. That they just want to fix it. We know the problems. We know the struggle, right? So let's talk about this other scene that we kind of didn't get a chance to talk about yet. Was when John visits Lamar Hoskins' family. So yeah, so I mean, I know everyone's got their names and their memes about it. And he's died and stuff now. I mean, it's still sad. I was just like, dang, but I mean, in the comic books, he does die. So, but we won't get into that. But I wanted to talk about this scene just real quick. So they're just talking, and John is saying to the family, he pretty much died. He saw the killer and he killed him. But we know that's not true. He didn't kill. He killed the other guy. Karli killed Battlestar. That's the way it was. Karli's still alive. So he lied. He lied to his family. And that's one of the worst things. Yeah, that's one of the worst things you can do. That's what I'm saying. This dude is not mentally stable. So if you notice, the sister in the situation kind of looks at him like, you are lying like hell. Because the way he told the story was just kind of you didn't really want to believe him. So the parents believed him, but the sister was like, you full of it. But I want to ask Trey, what do you think about this whole scene about him lying? What are your whole thoughts on this?
John's just a liar. I don't like him. I don't like him one bit.
He's just a lying liar.
He's a lying liar. It makes me wonder, if he truly, we all know he's crazy, but it makes me wonder that if he truly thinks that that dude killed Lamar, which I really feel like he doesn't, but also it could go into the fact that he took the serum. Now he's seeing things different. He may just see all of them as one person, all the Flag Smashers as one people. So
good point.
Something like that. But it's just, I don't know. He's just a liar. That's what
Latrice said liar, bottom line.
And that's a wrap on that.
What you got for us, RJ? What you think, man?
Liar, liar, plans for hire, Patrick Star. I feel like somebody had a good point. Too Cool Dancer said, Wonder Bread buttered the situation trying to be slick. And I feel like he kind of wants to be the hero, and he wants to make his parents feel like I brought him to justice. I'm the one who, called him, to stay in their good graces. And controversy also is a good point. He lies so much he believes it. I feel like you were in that battle. Excuse me. I still don't understand how he didn't know it was Karli that killed Marmar. I don't get it. I feel like no one told him, and matter of fact, they told him. Bucky and Sam told him in the warehouse. They was like, he didn't kill him. So for me, I feel like for you to still stick with that lie, I don't know. I just your character to me is just trash. But also I feel like he's also really on brand for who the fuck he is at this point. He's fraud. He's a complete fraud, and I feel like the shield that he represents everything that's wrong with America: the entitlement, the lies, the deceit. Just the being overly aggressive in situations where you can talk things out. If there's a wrong way to move,
He's a cop.
exactly. He's got, and that's why he's moving the way he moves. And I feel like he's really showing his true colors. For everybody in the comments saying plans for hire, you guys need to go back and watch.
And like that's what the quote is.
Yeah, it's when when Patrick ate his chocolate or something like that. Was it the chocolate episode? The camping episode, yeah.
Like, you ate my only food. Now I'm gonna
starve.
Yeah.
Liar, plans for hire. And he was like, his pants on fire, and he was like, you would know.
No, liar.
Liar.
Gotta love that show, man.
There's a SpongeBob quote for everything, guys. Trust me. But yeah, I feel like he's just a straight liar, man.
I agree. I don't disagree. What about you, Big Mike? What you got for us?
I think he knows full well that it was Karli. I think he's just saying it to like appease his family and everything. And the moment, like the fact that they keep saying like, he'll rest easy knowing that you brought justice to the person that killed him. I think that's just sealing the deal that he is never going to stop until he kills Karli. Like he's just going to go full force trying to kill her in this last episode. And I don't know if he's going to succeed or not, but it's definitely going to be a combination of Bucky and Sam having to stop him as well as stop Karli all the same. It's going to be a whole mess, which I actually think is going to be great. But I've also seen in the comments some people say they think the sister knows that he was lying about it. I don't think she did personally. I think she was just pissed off because she still holds him accountable for him dying. She's like, if he wasn't your partner, if he wasn't going out there with you being Captain America, he'd still be alive. So I don't think she necessarily knew like he was lying about the situation, but I mean, she clearly was pissed at him. But yeah, I mean, he's just a liar, plans for hire. So I mean,
yeah,
he doesn't want to deal with the guilt of, for one, killing like the wrong person essentially, and the fact that it is his fault that Battlestar is dead. So he's just trying to say what he can to stay in their good graces and avoid even more ramifications for what he did, because he already had the little slap on the wrist from the government. Doesn't really want something probably far worse from the family.
Yeah, and I don't disagree with that, because I think it's both. I think it's what you said and what the audience said too, because I think that she knows something, maybe because they've been best friends since the very beginning, in the comics and all that. So I think also what you said, Mike, I think, it is that she's hella pissed. Like why, like really? Like you're supposed to look after my brother. You're supposed to make sure that he was not going to die, and you let him die. So, I mean, I don't know which way it's going to go, but I do think it's one or the other. I think what you said and the audience said is a pretty good perspective to look at that, because this scene, I mean, it's another powerful scene, but I mean, it's not as powerful as the scene before, but it's still the death of a family member, really. Like, and John was technically their family because they've known each other forever, because he showed him that picture too. And he's like, hey, this is us when we were young. And it's like, yeah, I know you guys have history, but not anymore. So it's kind of sad, but
a couple people, I don't know. I see what you guys are saying, but I also feel like she gave him like that like black girl, like, yeah, okay, kind of look like, I know you lying. Like, I don't know. I feel like she had that look on her face.
She turned to him like,
yeah, yep, exactly.
Yeah,
like, come on, man.
That's what I'm saying. I think it's both. Like, because I don't know. Like, I think because she did get that look like, you full of it, and also she's like mad, like, like, yeah, why'd you let him die? Like, I don't know.
I am interested because someone had a good point in the comment. They said she's around that age, the people where they're trying to recruit flag smashers. So maybe she had the app. Maybe she caught a ping.
It's a possibility.
It's a good point.
Sure. Talking about that, let's get to the next scene where we get a little training / boat montage.
Mike's favorite scene that lasted the entire episode.
Look, I liked everything that happened in it. I particularly liked the sense of the Black community coming together. It's just, it did not need to be that long, man. Can you just fix this stupid boat already? God damn it.
But I see what you mean as far as pace, because when you're doing film, it's like you can still tell the story within. I mean, hell, they told the story of Isaiah Bradley within 3 minutes. So I mean, I see what you mean, the pace. It's gotta there's nothing beyond the boat that represents that. It's about community. It's about family. So I see why you say that as far as the pace, but I mean, it makes sense because it's a community aspect. But again, the boat was kind of like a secondary. It felt like a secondary. It feel like the main course of the meal that we were trying to all figure out so we could eat together. But I don't disagree too much with that.
They drug that shit out.
What'd you say?
Knox and they drug that shit out. They really did.
I will say that it definitely could have been sped up for sure, but I would say favorite parts of this scene was when Bucky was like, "Hey, what's up, Sarah? Hey, how you doing?"
I did like that a lot too. That was pretty good. I ship it too. I'm like, go for it. Go for it, Bucky. Do it.
And it just made me laugh because you look over at Sam and Sam just like, excuse me.
Yeah.
What's going on?
That's me.
I mean, she was flirting with him too. It wasn't like it was a one-sided thing. I'm like, can't be mad, Sam. She appears to be into it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, technically they said they're not friends. So
So what are you gonna do about it? Do you have the super soldier serum, Sam? I didn't think so.
We've seen you fight, Sam. Did you get your wings ripped off?
Damn. That's true though.
We also learned some key information in this scene. Bucky is right-handed. Who would have thought? Who would have known?
Kind of sucks when you think about it. I'm like, oh, maybe it doesn't actually. I'm like, I guess your good hand is still there. I don't know. I'd consider the metal arm to be your good hand. I'm like, that's so much cooler.
I'd use that for everything.
It makes sense. Oh well.
I guess what I like the scene is it was kind of a team building thing for them. They get more understanding of each other and they're just working better together, and I think that comes to fruition later when we see them in right before Sam's training montage. Sam gives Bucky a little tough love, and he's just like, you don't need to all you're doing right now is avenging. You're not trying to amend things. You can just start with one person. You have these people on this list that only you can help these people, and just start with one, which I think they're gonna return to Bucky's Asian friend. I do not remember his name, but
that's definitely where they're going. If they don't, stupid.
If they don't,
come on, you set that up too well.
But I think that was very good, and it shows another layer of Sam to where he is the NBA. Oh, a great stepdad, yeah. But it makes him
I feel like RJ would make a great stepdad. Don't you? You love those kids.
I do. Yeah, I agree with that. Definitely.
Stop playing it.
Your sticky fruit snack fingers touching the shoe.
After that, we get this little training montage. you can never have a good movie or show without a training montage. They're
Yeah.
This is true.
But I guess my question is to y'all: do you think the flips are necessary? Because personally, I don't.
Yes. The answer
I
is
thought
yes.
the same thing. Yo, Trey, you read my mind. When he was doing those flips, I was like, what was the flip for?
You're both wrong. They are necessary because it made me smile. I needed it. How many times did Captain America do the flip? Plenty of times. It was always cool. The answer is yes.
It was always stupid.
It was always cool. Does Spider-Man need to flip around all the time? Probably not. But guess what? It's cool. And I like it.
Little razzle dazzle on the shield catch.
Like, are you really Captain America if you don't flip backwards before you catch the shield? I don't think so. Did John Walker ever do that? Nope. My case in point.
So here's my thing. Yeah, I'm with Mike on this. It's cool. Like it's cool. I'm with it because when you're training, I'm gonna try to do something extra like that too to be cool. Like, why would you not want to practice to get jiggy with it or to do something to add to your repertoire? You know, I mean, I would add like do a backflip and catch a shield and then throw it again. But was it necessary? Maybe not. But was it cool? Hell yeah! I would watch it over and over again and do something.
I mean,
like
hey,
that.
think about it this way. What if someone throws a knife at you, do a little backflip, and then catch the shield when it comes back to you? Like, just wait. In the next episode, it's going to be like handy, and I'm going to be like, told you so.
That's what I'm saying.
Told you.
Cool. It's so cool. That's what I'm saying. Like, I can't wait to see what he does. That's our new
Don's talking about parkour.
Parkour.
Everybody check out Emma on there. It's a great podcast.
If anyone watching this is a TikTok editor or something, I need you to edit the sound over.
Yeah, exactly. Just as soon as he flips, parkour. Shit, I went to school for film. I can edit. I'm gonna make that. I'm making that as my next video.
Walker can't flip. He rolls. Yeah, he does. Yeah, he rolls. Oh, that's funny. Jiffy Lube making a great value shield with scrap metal, so Sam is allowed to flip.
I didn't like the flip because I thought it was like so. All right, so let's say you're getting like shot at, right? So it wasn't like you're literally just in one spot flipping. You're still gonna get shot.
No, that's actually not
like,
true. The
nah,
bullets are always gonna go under a flip. That's physics right there. That's how that works.
Aim up.
Hey,
Aim a little higher.
Man, me, Trey, I would flip.
Like,
I guess I'm just lazy. I'm not doing
give me all
that.
your money. You're like, flip.
and
Shoot me if I'm flipping.
But that's the thing too. Like, I'm sorry, Trey, to cut you off. That's the thing too. What if like you do a flip in front of someone and they like, have a knife, and then they see you do a flip and they're like, you know,
they're like, nah, I'm not fucking with that.
Yeah, I'm not.
Like flip, stab.
Imagine that's the next episode. He goes to the big fight, does a flip, and then just immediately dies. We're like,
I hate you, RJ.
and then I'm gonna be like, told you.
Should have got that super soldier serum.
I hate you,
You
RJ.
could have flipped like 20 feet in the air instead of 5.
RJ, you just mad.
Remember said the power flip action on the toy.
Here's where the plot twist is. He does the flip, and then everyone's like, he's a Power Ranger. We're out.
Yeah. No, and then the explosions in the back of him, and then the grass explodes behind him.
But then just a whole bunch of putties show up, and the show just changes.
Yeah. And we're like, wait, what?
The whole time Zord show
I'd
up.
still watch it.
Yeah,
Really
boy's crazy.
Megazord, that's what's really in the case. But you know what? Also, I was gonna say, we totally skipped over it. We find out that the shield is not even a property of the government. It's like a big gray area. So, you know,
I always thought
technically
that too was
Tony
weird.
Stark or Howard Stark made it, so it's like,
But it's made from Wakandan technology. Ooh. That
well,
maybe that's
stolen
wait a minute,
vibranium.
that's
I don't know if that
yeah,
really
exactly.
counts.
Stolen.
Oh.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what I'm saying. So it's a gray area, man. So I mean, it's not really a government property. It never has been. Because I mean, the Wakanda can come in and take that anytime, you know. But they're like,
I feel like
We
Oyo
got
did
plenty
that
of
though.
vibranium.
I feel like Ayo did that though. When she beat John Walker's ass and she had the shield, didn't she hand it back to them like, yeah, I'm allowing you to have this shield. Like you may take my shield.
Oh yeah, no, because it was the other Dora Milaje member who like did the shield stomp, which was badass.
That was cool.
And then she was. It looked like she wanted to keep it too. She's like, "Come on, give it back to him," and she's like, "Okay."
Yeah, I know. She's like, okay, fine.
Oh, sorry. Just one
ahead.
thing about the training montage, or like right before the training montage, I thought there was a really good line in there where Bucky was saying, like, you know, when Steve told me his plan, which confirms that he did know Steve was going to do what he did. He was like, we didn't realize what it would be to give a black man this shield, and that was a moment for me. Also, I'm like, you know, honestly, I didn't either. Like, in Endgame, I was just like, oh, cool. Falcon's going to be the new Captain America. I like it. But yeah, I think specifically for white audiences and the white characters in the show, there's just no concept of like what that really means. So I really like the fact that he owned up to that and was like, yeah, we didn't really think about that. And I'm sorry.
And
I think, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead, RJ. Okay. So I think that the reason that to back you up on that is also with that line, I think what Captain America was trying to say is that it comes down to a good heart, because I've known you from the beginning, Sam. You know, I lapped you in Winter Soldier 3 times. I said on your left 30 times. You came back and you saved me for like, you know, from the end of the world, and you said on your left. Like, that's a huge moment for those two, because they've know that they always got each other's backs, and they know that they both are like pretty much the same person, just different color. It's the content of your heart that matters when you pick up that shield. So Bucky knows that if he picks up that shield, he might go rogue. So he knows that he needs to give that shield to Sam, because Sam is like mentally there, because Bucky still just has his demons. We all know that. We all see it. So I think that this is important, because they didn't think about color. They thought about the content of someone's heart. But what this did was it did open up to say, oh, you know what? We did not think about that. And guess what? We didn't know about Isaiah. So you know what? Maybe it is that time. So
yeah. I also wanted to point out, like, going off what you said, Mike, I don't think the white characters in Marvel have that understanding of race. I think they are, in a sense, colorblind, because they deal with so much on a larger scale that they don't have time, you know, not to say that they can't be racist, but they don't have the mental capacity to be racist. So they don't understand it. Black people kind of have this unwritten, unspoken rule of, like, we understand, you know, what white people will allow and what they won't allow. Like, you ever been, and I'm pretty sure you guys have been, like, to an event where you're literally like one of the 3 black people in the room, and you make eye contact with each other, and you just do the, like, you haven't this unwritten understanding that we have with each other. Yeah. And I remember, like, you know, watching Cap get the shield or whatever. Not Cap, watching Falcon get the shield. And I remember looking over at my friend like this, like, we know what's gonna happen. And I just remember, like, everybody in the theater, like, collectively, like, you can see all, like, those black people, like, looking at each other like, here we go. Here we go. Like, we have, this is, like I said, this unwritten understanding that we have between each other as far as, like, stuff like that. So it's funny that, you know, you mentioned that, because I agree. I don't think that a lot of white characters or white people, you know, it was shocking to them, you know, because there was a lot, I think, I don't know, Shane said it in the comments, there was a lot of backlash online from people talking about him being Captain America. And then, of course, you have people coming saying it's canon. So, like, shut the fuck up, you know?
I remember in the comics when that was a whole big issue.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's just the way it is. But that's the thing. In every generation, comics change. So, again, the comics got to evolve with new characters. So, of course, we're going to see Hispanic Captain America in, like, years. There's LGBTQ character that's coming out that's, you know, representing that community.
It better be good, by the way. I'm like, that's my community. You better not fuck that up. Like, come on.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so you got to be careful with that. So, I mean, that's just how it goes.
Exactly, Shannon. That unwritten rule is real.
Yeah.
I just think comics are being so much more, what what am I trying to say? I just had it in my head. They're trying to be more inclusive of everyone. They're trying to show everyone's cultures now, and they're trying to have that representation for everyone, which I like that. And we're also starting to see that translate over into live action stuff, so that everyone can see it, because everyone watches Marvel stuff. You know, you can't escape Marvel stuff. It's everywhere. Like you can escape a comic book, but if they're putting it out into their platform, Marvel's like the biggest movies out there at the moment. And
for sure.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, it took them long enough, but it's good that it's finally happening.
Yeah. Also, what I noticed too is like art imitates life, and I feel like what Marvel is doing with this sort of like, I guess, art media, for lack of a better word, is it's starting to really mimic what's really going on. And I feel like that to me makes the best TV, is when you take away the fakeness of it and you add layers and, you know, elements of realism. And I feel like that's kind of what layers your characters, because I'm glad they did this in a television show, because there's no way this character development could have fit into a movie and had to be this impactful as it is, because we needed these TV shows to kind of layer out, you know, these characters and their journeys, because we definitely wouldn't have gotten us with a movie. I feel like Sam being a Black Captain America, you know, his ridiculous flips and all is necessary, because as we can see, you know, the Cheeto Dust Finger kids, you know, was looking up to him, you know, after they had ate their little nasty fruit snacks and they was touching everything.
They were being cute, RJ.
Like, watch your hands, touching the thing. Now I'm in battle with fruit snacks on my damn shoe.
Now,
it is important.
It's not going to slip out of your hands, though. Like, it's coming back. You're just, all you got to do is like get one finger to touch it, and then it'll just stick right to the little fruit snack stuff.
It's going to mess up the Wakandan physics of this shield. That matter of fact, there's your answer. Remember, said this shield defies laws. It doesn't follow physics. It's because it's Wakandan, and we don't understand it.
It's from space. Fair point. Vibranium is from space. You can't. Yep. There's no way you can study it.
At all. But it was such a important conversation. Or going back to what I was going to say with the art imitating life, what I loved about this whole scene too with the boat was, Michael, you mentioned it earlier, where they had such a sense of community, and rather than folding, they banded together to fix this boat. You know, they called in actual favors, you know, because, you know, their mother and father helped their community out, unlike somebody who claimed that
these are real favors.
These are real favors. That's an actual favor, Bucky. When somebody owes you some shit and you collect on it, not you owe them shit and you collect on more shit. It just said, but that scene to me was powerful, because I feel like it was the equivalent of a GoFundMe without, you know, a bunch of strangers who don't know you contributed. Mm-hmm. It was more about family, community, pulling together to, you know, help each other out. And I feel like when the world turns its back on you, like how Sam couldn't get that loan for the bank, you have to rely on your friends, your family, your community to pull you through. And that's why I love WandaVision. I don't get me wrong, I do. And I didn't think I would love this more than I loved WandaVision, because I love magic and things like that. Yeah. But this Falcon and Winter Soldier speaks to me on such a personal level, to where there's no way I could put WandaVision above Falcon and Winter Soldier. Just for me being, you know, a Black man, I love the way this show is done. And there's less kids in this show, so it's better.
Yeah, there's still kids though. They still got you there.
We're still here. And stupid ass flips.
The flips are cool.
You ever seen that episode of Futurama where old boy is about to jump off the roof and the guy was like, do a flip?
Yeah.
Now we all know Sam, if he's ever going to do that, he'll definitely do a flip.
Yeah.
Hey, would still be alive if he did a flip.
Wait, what did you say?
I can't stand you, Trey.
Battlestar.
You said Quicksilver?
Did you really?
Wait, no. You say Quicksilver be alive?
Battlestar.
We should have did a flip.
Are you saying if he did a flip before she punched him, or like while he's flying in the air, if he just went, he just could have avoided the column altogether?
Either or could have worked.
All right. Okay.
Oh my goodness.
That's the new thing. Every time somebody dies, we say should have did a flip.
Should have done the flip.
So wanted to answer a comment about Don Cheadle coming back. I forgot who said it. Oh, okay, yeah. So I thought the government was about to show we're bringing Don Cheadle coming back. So I think that's going to happen because I think we're going to see we are going to see Don Cheadle in Armor Wars, but I don't know if we're going to see him in any other TV shows because he is going to be the head main actor for Armor Wars. And he's going to it's going to be about the missing pieces of Tony's tech that have been stolen too. So that's going to be a very interesting take.
Yeah,
there's
I don't
actually
think we'll necessarily see him in this show.
Frank Santos. If I remember it, I'll send it to you on Facebook. But there's actually a podcast that highlights Pacific Island superheroes and like lesser known races, and they had an episode where they talked about a hero that was from the Pacific Islands. I don't know if they're Marvel or not, but if I find it, I'll send it to you on Facebook. It was like months ago where I was listening to it, but there is a Pacific Islander hero. I can't remember what it was though, but it was a one-off episode that I just haven't listened to. Yeah.
I mean, there's definitely still a lot more representation that they could do. I mean, if you were to take the entire roster of all the superheroes, at least currently in the MCU, it's still like 85% white guys. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Like they're starting to spread it out a little bit, but it's like still got a long ways to go.
Yeah, a long ways could. But that's the thing too. Marvel, I think now they're realizing that but not Sony, like Marvel. Is realizing that they have to start putting out these stories because there have been a lot of long lost characters of color. Like, you think giant size X-Men isn't going to happen in like 10 years? We're going to see all these crazy X-Men come out of nowhere that are just full of diversity. So we're not going to see. There's going to be white guys, of course, but there's not going to be a lot of white guys. Just like one scene, it's going to be a mix of heroes. So I think we're getting to that point where we're going to start seeing more diversity.
And that's one reason I'm excited for the Eternals, because it seems like I think there's one white guy on the whole lineup. Everyone else is at least something different, like
a woman,
different race, different
black
gender.
Man.
Yeah,
a dog.
So that was cool. I swear to God, if they bring Howard the Duck into that movie, I'll never forgive it. It'll automatically be the worst Marvel movie.
He's already in 2 movies or 3 movies anyway, so we've seen enough of him. He's in both Guardians, and then he's in the Deadpool 2. So I mean, it's like
I'm cool with the dog. Don't bring the duck in. Like, leave that stupid duck out.
So I guess the last thing we can talk about really is, if anything, like our final thoughts on the episode. But I do want to mention one thing. So this is just interesting because we don't really know who the power broker is yet.
Sharon.
So I guess
Sharon.
Okay, so
we know.
I don't think it's Sharon, but
it's totally Sharon.
Yeah, I know y'all I do want to get your reasons why individually why you think it's Sharon, because there's a lot that goes into this Madripoor aspect, because they keep mentioning that, and that goes along like I was mentioning earlier with the X-Men and how that ties into different stories. As far as with Wolverine, they talk about Patch, and if y'all know what Patch is in the comics, Wolverine Logan went to Madripoor, and like Madripoor is pretty much it's not an assassin's guild, but it's like a place where like pirates do like exchange stuff, like drugs, guns, all kinds of legal stuff. They do a bunch of legal stuff there. It's just like a place where bad people go. And Patch is when Wolverine had an eye patch, and he almost lost his eye. Pretty much did lose his eye in the comics. So I think they're trying to tie into that aspect, and there's a lot of ties into that too. But as far as the power broker with Madripoor and everything, I'm gonna go to Trey first. Why do you think Sharon is the power broker, and if she's not, who do you think it is?
I mean, it's got to be Sharon, because she literally called up Batroc the Leaper and like rented him out to the Flag Smasher. So, actually, I don't know, because
making me think now.
Because if she knows where the Flag Smashers are, and they're like asking for help. Like, I don't know, because she was at the spot where they killed the dude that was making the super soldier serum, but she didn't really react to that at all. And that was the power broker's, guy. But I feel like she knows, if she's not the power broker, she knows who the power broker is. And that's how she kind of has all these connections and stuff like that.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think it's somebody else, but I'll leave my thoughts for last. RJ, what you got for us, man?
I feel like only reason I'm saying to Sharon is because I feel like WandaVision has taught me not to overthink shit. We were all having these theories and thoughts about WandaVision and, what we thought was going to come to pass. And then we looked stupid every single episode. We had to come back on this live with egg on our face because we were wrong. We blew each other's minds and then we were fucking wrong about everything. So for me, I feel like, go with the simple solution. And I feel like Sharon is the power broker only because she's the only one that's shady, kind of, talking on her phone on the low, making deals behind the scenes. It's just all very shady to me. So I feel like, she is the one pulling the strings, or she's the one. If she's not the power broker, she has to be right under the power broker, or she has to be helping out the power broker because she's doing too much shady shit, for her. And you have to think they're only showing little bits and pieces of her in the episode. Every time we see her or in the scene, she's on the phone doing some grimy shit. So I feel like she got to be the power broker or right underneath him.
Yeah, and I don't disagree with what you said as far as Marvel hyping us up to think it's something else, and when it's really just one simple thing right in front of our face. I can't agree with that, but I do think that they are eventually going to.
Tony should have did a flip.
As he snaps,
he should have flipped.
He's good.
He would have survived it, man. The flip and the whirlwind would have saved him from the blast. But yeah, I mean, I don't disagree with that. I think it's a good point. It's just, but I mean, I still think we are seeing some kind of connection that she's, trying to make us seem like she's not the power broker. But Mike, what you got for us?
I think she's for sure the power broker. Because again, I know it seems like, oh, maybe she's not if she's having Batroc bring them like these weapons or whatever. How do we know those weapons even work? Like that could all just be a setup for her to get them in a bind and, take her vengeance. And I just feel like they consistently keep showing her doing, like you said, these shady things and everything. And I feel like if it wasn't going to be the power broker, they would have said what was so shady about her already. But the fact that they're saving it for the last episode, I'm like, she's the power broker. Like I refuse to believe anything else. And if I get proven wrong, like I did with the Mephisto thing, I will be super pissed, but I'll be like, oh, Marvel knows how to trick me, I guess. I don't know.
We just don't know. We all don't know. I think everyone's fears and whatever they have to say is fair because Marvel's just tricky. So we're going to find out this next episode about what's going to happen. So
for sure. Can we talk about, before we forget, I want to talk about Julia Louise Dreyfus or whatever, Elaine from Seinfeld. I don't know. It's weird seeing her in another role like that. I just didn't know she could be like so cool and secret agent. I wonder, how do you think she's going to play into, the MCU from here? Because this was literally just an introduction.
I think we're going to see that Madripoor aspect. I think since we got the rights back for all the characters, I think that they're still going to tag on to that Masters of Evil aspect with Madam Hydra, her turning into Viper eventually, because if y'all notice, they're kind of setting up, like Trey was mentioning earlier, these villains. Like we got Baron Zemo going to the Raft with all those villains. We got Scorpion and all these other SpiderMan villains locked up in jail right now. And then we still have Universal threats. We have Dormammu is still alive. It's just there's just so much going on as far as villains, and so I think that we'll eventually see everything just like all these villains get loose, and it's just going to be hell.
Okay. Fair. Everybody agreed with that?
Yes. I don't know. Like, I don't know enough about the character from the comics, and I've read a lot of the comics too, and I'm like, I don't remember her that much. Like, I know Viper, so I'm like, I guess I sort of know her, but if this is supposed to be all she is before she gets to that point, then I'm like, I have no idea. I don't know if she's supposed to be running the Thunderbolts instead of Ross. I don't know if she's doing something entirely different.
So
I like the actor.
I'll keep it short and simple. So like what it is that in the comic, she pretty much works a deal with some people behind the scenes to take down the New Mutants. So she works with people like Omega Red, and she runs into Wolverine because she runs into Silver Samurai too because Madam Viper stole some tech or something that was like very foreign to Silver Samurai, and Silver Samurai was trying to kill her, but they ran into the New Mutants who Viper was trying to kill, and that's when they all met in Madripoor. That's the first time that Wolverine met Captain America in the comics was Madripoor. So there's just so much that goes on with this. I mean, I can talk about it all day, but that's like the small like origin of it, I guess.
Yeah. Okay. We'll see what unfolds, and we'll all definitely be watching because we're content creators and that's what we do. So I think we're gonna call it a night on this one. I feel like we talked about. Oh, we had to talk about what's in the box too.
Yeah, I was like, what's in the box? What does everyone think is in the box?
Post-credit scene. It's obviously wings, Wakandan wings that Kelly ripped off.
But
I'll give my answer. I don't know. That's my answer. I don't know.
I think it's wings.
What's in the box is
I think it's vibranium wings.
Dick in the box.
No. It's a vibranium dick.
It never breaks.
I don't think that's one way to play this. Somebody. You can kill somebody with that, man.
I mean, hey, if it works, it works. Like,
but I think it's wings. I think it's a new set of vibranium wings that can't be broken and ripped off in battle because we know Sam has 0 fight IQ and no hands, so he needs something durable.
I think it's also a new suit. I think it's probably the new Captain America suit.
That's what I think it is, but still, I don't even know because his friend in the comics he becomes the new Falcon. So he gave him the suit at the end too. So he's like, "Nah, you keep that." So I think they're going to tie onto that too. Yeah, in the comics, he's his sidekick. He's the new Falcon, so we might see that happen.
Okay.
I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Also, let's talk about before we get off. I forgot to. Let's talk about the end credit scene.
The tin can shield.
Tin can shield. Yes. What are y'all thoughts on that? I feel like he's making. Do you think he's making a shield for himself? We think he's making a shield to give back to them because they don't know that the shield is not in his possession. So do you think he's making one for himself?
He's making it for himself.
Making for himself.
There's no way. I don't think he gives a shit about the government anymore. I think he's straight up just like, all right, so I need a shield so I can go into battle. And I think because it's not vibranium, he's just going to get his ass kicked.
Eugene said it's a Sprite can.
I mean, did you see how thin that metal looked when he was making it? I'm like,
it really was. Yeah,
it's like a trash can lid. Like, what is this shit?
It's like those Ford truck commercials. Like, oh yeah, real hard steel. Like
scrap metal shield.
Yeah, but I was just like, no, this is horrible. This thing looks like a raggedy thing. It's just, I mean, like in the comics, yeah, it's made of steel. He's broken so many shields. So I mean, like if that shield hits a vibranium shield, that thing is just gonna snap in half. Like, dude, you're trying too hard. Stop it. So that's
playing.
The most damage that thing is gonna do is it's gonna give someone tetanus. Like that's all that thing is gonna do.
Yeah, exactly. What about you, Trey? What you think?
It's a crappy shield. It's not gonna work. It's gonna get the minute someone punches it, it's gonna just fold in on itself.
That shit gonna fold. Somebody's gonna punch through it, and it's literally a fist is gonna come through the shield and like just bam right in his face.
Maybe that's how he dies on the show.
And it's not even as big as the.
Hopefully he'll flip.
You want to avoid death? Do a flip.
Someone said it has tetanus damage. Rev said it's tetanus damage. Oh God, y'all are fools, bro.
This chat, yo, I swear, man, we had the best chat in the world.
It is like y'all, that shit funny.
Y'all, I just want to say thank y'all. Y'all are so great for tuning in. So because we couldn't do this without you, and it's just y'all are great.
For real, that shit fucking made her gingerbread and pretzels. Like it's not gonna last. Like it's not gonna last. But yeah. But thanks you guys so much for
cosplay.
For the cosplay.
He's trying his best.
Y'all are fools, man. Y'all are fools.
Y'all crazy, man.
I can't. But y'all, this has been so much fun tonight. We had such a good time talking about Falcon and Winter Soldier episode 5. Before we get out of here, Trey, where can we find you at, man?
You can get me on Instagram at maximum_spider. You can get me on TikTok and Twitch at SpiderBoy Trey, and if that's SpiderBoy with 2 eyes instead of a Y, because I had to be different.
That's right.
And Jay, where can we find you at, man?
Find me on all social media platforms. My Snapchat is hero.harrison, and my Twitch, Facebook, and Instagram, and everything else is Hero Harrison Talk across the board. I got a podcast coming next week, so make sure you guys listen to that. It's going to be about Baron Zemo. And last thing I got to say, if you want to know more about Isaiah Bradley, I'm going to be doing a podcast on that as well in a couple of weeks when Falcon Winter Soldier ends, so we can talk about the aftermath and what has not been told in these lost stories of our Black heroes. So other than that, that's pretty much what I got going on.
All right, and Mike from Nerd Guy Productions, where can we find you at?
Mostly just YouTube, Nerd Guy Productions. I do have an Instagram that I don't really do that much with, Chronic Gamer. Other than that, that's going to be it for me.
Oh, I got one more thing to say. If y'all had not read the comic book Truth, make sure you read that. That's one of the stories of Isaiah Bradley. It's 7 issues. It's really short. You can go to Marvel Comics, the app on your phone, and just download that and read it. Like you can buy comics out there for like 99 cents. That's what I did, and you can just start reading away on your tablet, all that. But read the comic book Truth. It came out in 2003. I read it when I was a kid. So it's about the story of Isaiah Bradley. If you guys want more interested to read about that.
Okay. And you guys can find me on all social media platforms at Avatar RAJ. Also, don't forget to follow the Silver Site across all social media platforms. All of our links are down below. Our link trees where you can find Hero Harrison Talk. You can find the Silver Site. You can find our women's wrestling podcast called Women Can Wrestle. You can find our vlog that we're starting soon called Open World. We have a whole bunch of shows here on the Silver Site Network. So there's a lot of content coming your way. So check it all out. Before you get out of here, guys, don't forget to like this video because we need help getting back into the YouTube algorithm. Make sure you share this video with your friends and follow us across all social media platforms. Join us here next week where we have the finale. We'll be joined by Monique and Cam from Blurred Up, and we're going to break down the final episode of Falcon and Winter Soldier, and there's going to be a lot of fun. So with that being said, hope everybody has a good evening and a safe weekend. Don't let anything bad happen. If something bad happens to you, somebody pulls a gun on you, somebody pulls a knife, remember, please, for the love of God, do a flip.
Please. It'll work. It'll save your life.
It'll save your life.
If it doesn't save your life, you can complain about it to me.
Yeah, tell Michael. Go find Michael at Nerd Guy Productions and complain to him that you got shot or stabbed because you tried to do a flip.
Right.
With that being said,
trust me, it'll work.
It'll work. With that being said, remember, everybody have a good night. Remember, blur is bond.
Blur is
Blur
bond.
is bond.
I'm
Michael,
still
say
not
it.
gonna do it.
Y'all have a good night.